Pakistan strongly rejects the Indian government's reported plan to hold a G20 summit in the Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir territory next year. The Foreign Office has condemned India's plans, stressing that Kashmir is an internationally recognized disputed territory. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif says that Pakistan's economic future was linked to the success of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor with Gwadar Port as its main component, and to achieve that end, the role of the Pakistan Navy was key.
Pakistan's economic future hinges upon the success of CPEC, with Gwadar Port as its major component. To achieve this end, the need for a strong and vibrant navy is very important and than ever before. Besides this, our adjoining sea areas are home to multiple security challenges.
The Premier stressed the need for a strong and vibrant navy had become even more important than ever before because of the growing blue economy, marine security, and strategic defense.
Pakistan Navy's strategic role in the defense of our maritime borders will continue to gain significance in the years ahead. Our country is blessed with a large coastline situated in one of the most strategically important locations in the region.
Former Prime Minister Imran Khan has announced anti-government protests across the country on 2nd July, imploring Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf workers and supporters to take out rallies in all major cities. The PTI chairman also criticized the coalition government for imposing the super tax, saying that the new policy would add to already rising inflation in the country. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf chairman Imran Khan moved to Supreme Court against the coalition government's recent amendments to the National Accountability Ordinance, contending that they will virtually eliminate any white-collar crime committed by a public office holder and destroy the country. The ruling coalition, however, contended that graft cases against the PMLN leadership would continue, with Shahid Khaqan Abbasi saying it was not intended to end corruption cases against them. Inter-Services Public Relations said in a statement that 4 terrorists were killed during an intelligence-based operation conducted by security forces in the Dosali area of the North Waziristan district. It added that the terrorists were actively involved in terrorist activities against security forces. A delegation of European Union GSP Plus monitoring mission called on Punjab Chief Minister Hamza Shahbaz to discuss implementation of various conventions on GSP Plus status. The Chief Minister asserted that his government has prioritized ensuring equal rights to women and minorities, adding that the Punjab Assembly has passed a bill for a new local body system, increasing reserved seats for women, minorities and youth. Interior Minister Rana Sanaulah's indictment in a drugs case was delayed as he failed to appear before a special court for the control of narcotic substances in Lahore, owing to the ongoing budget session in Islamabad. The court has now summoned him on July 23rd. The PMLN leader was arrested in the case in July 2019 under the previous government by the Anti-Narcotics Force, which claimed to have recovered 15 kilograms of heroin from his vehicle. The Islamabad High Court has directed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to facilitate the family of Dr. Afia Siddiqui, who is serving a jail sentence in an American prison, in getting a US visa so that they could visit her. Afia, a US citizen of Pakistani origin, was convicted by a US court in 2010 on charges of shooting at US Army and FBI officers while in custody in Afghanistan, and was sentenced to 86 years imprisonment. A Karachi court on Saturday instructed the Provincial Health Secretary to constitute a medical board to determine the age of Dua Zehra, the girl who went missing from Karachi in April and was recovered from Punjab earlier this month. Dua has in previous court hearings said she is 18 years of age, and a medical test ordered by the Sindh High Court found she was 17. The Sindh High Court later ruled that Dua, who claims she had contracted marriage of her own accord, was free to decide her fate. Subsequently, her father, Mehdi Kazmi, challenged the Sindh High Court verdict in the Supreme Court, where his petition was disposed of as it didn't fall in the jurisdiction of the apex court. In that hearing, Justice Muhammad Ali Mazhar asked the petitioner if they had challenged Dua's medical report. The three-member bench had further told Kazmi to approach the relevant forums for the formation of a medical board to determine his daughter's age. Finance Minister Miftah Ismail says the government has vowed to bring hoteling industry, construction and real estate into the tax net with consultation within the next few months. Replying to criticism over the latest tax policy, the PMLN leader said he could only fight so many battles, adding that the government is gradually bringing in millions of shops into the tax net. Apple has accepted the outcome of a vote by Maryland store workers to become its first United States employees to join a union and is ready to bargain with them. Apple is one of several major American companies whose workforces have moved to unionize, with workers at some Starbucks and Amazon locations also voting to join a union in recent months. Malaysia is expected to spend roughly $17.6 billion in subsidies and cash aid this year, the largest amount in history, to help temper the effects of rising prices. Prices of goods have jumped in Malaysia in recent months due to supply chain disruptions, labor shortages, and the impact of war in Ukraine. Government data shows food inflation rose 5.2% from a year earlier in May. Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir-Abdollahian says indirect talks with the United States on reviving the 2015 nuclear pact will resume soon amid a push by the European Union's top diplomat to break a months-long impasse in the negotiations. The pact appeared close to being revived in March when the EU invited foreign ministers representing the Accords parties to Vienna to finalize an agreement after 11 months of indirect talks between Tehran and President Joe Biden's administration. But the talks have since been bogged down, chiefly over Tehran's insistence that Washington remove the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, its elite security force, from the US foreign terrorist organization list. Beijing will allow primary and secondary schools to resume in-person classes, and Shanghai's top party boss declared victory over COVID-19 after the city reported 0 new local cases for the first time in 2 months. The two major cities were among several places in China that implemented curbs to stop the spread of the Omicron wave during March to May, with Shanghai imposing a 2-month-long citywide lockdown that lifted on 1st June. A Japanese man tasked with providing benefits to tax-exempt households lost a very important USB memory stick following a night out with colleagues. The man tucked the USB, which contained sensitive information of nearly 500,000 people, into his bag before heading to a local restaurant with friends. He eventually passed out on the street and woke up to find both his bag and the memory stick missing. Lucky for him, the company says USB drive was encrypted. It has been 3 decades since Shah Rukh Khan stepped into the film industry, and what better way to honor his 30 years of work than reminisce about it with fans. The King of Bollywood answered some fans' questions in his very first Insta Live. Khan hosted his live session on Instagram on Saturday and revealed that though it was for the release of new poster for his upcoming film Pathaan, it incidentally also happens to be his 30-year anniversary in the industry.